Well, hello again. Welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. Paul Schrimpf here with Eric Sfiligoj. Welcome, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I have emerged from the bunker. I decided to come into the office. Starting to get my sea legs back a little bit because I think Q3 is the magic time where we're going to start spending a little more time in the office. Maybe actually seeing each other. Maybe even shooting this in the studio. This could be the last month and a half of bunker vision. Right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure people will be glad to not be seeing the drapes behind me over my shoulder here. So,
I don't know. The drapes are kind of nice. People complain about everything. They'll complain about your drapes, complain about the studio. You can get creative with the background when we get back here, but we'll see. So anyway, just to share my perspective, we had our first deadline for early bird deadline for the Tech Hub Live conference, and great response at the end of the day yesterday. People signing up. Had some more people kind of signing up today. So it's been great. We're really excited about this conference. The speaker and agenda are coming together very, very well. We're inviting some interesting new guests that folks may not have seen for a while. So we're really excited. It's going to be good. It's going to be a great time to get back together again, to learn about what's happening in technology and engage with the experts that are really making it happen. As we say, bringing technology at the intersection of technology and agronomy. So hope to see a lot of you there. And of course, if you have any questions or any comments about what we're doing, please feel free to drop me a line. So it's good, and we've got like 2 more months to sign up before the show comes in Des Moines.
yeah, very good, Paul. I know it's interesting because I know this week I've been getting invites from folks for upcoming events, and I got a couple this morning for a virtual event or two that'll be held here in early June. But for any events that are taking place like after the 4th of July, those invites, those save the date notes I'm getting are all mentioning, hey, we're going back to something in person. So, get ready to start making some plans. So I know, with vaccination rates where they are and COVID deaths coming down, it seems like, as we hit the third quarter here in 2021, the era of once again traveling on the road will become reality once more. And boy, will that be fun.
You bet. Yeah, but I back when you get your travel fatigue days, you're like, God, can't this just stop? And then when it stops, it's like, wow, it's been so weird. People have been great about Zoom calls, about sharing information electronically. We've been able to keep up with the markets and really continue to talk to people, but it's still, there's nothing like a handshake. It's nothing like really being able to engage people and kind of read body language and kind of get a better understanding of what they're saying, and just share various beverages and have a nice time. It's been it's been so fun.
It's interesting you mentioned the handshake, because I know that this week I know my son was going off to camp with his school class. It was like one of the first field trips that the school has consented to since the COVID restrictions are lifting here in Ohio. And it was interesting, while I was seeing him off the other day, and I was seeing a bunch of the fathers and mothers that I hadn't seen in a while because of social distancing and all. As I saw them, we were all wearing the masks, of course, but no handshakes, no hugs, but lots of the fist taps. We were doing the fist taps, the elbow taps. So that was, and again, I guess that's been the norm. So it'll be very, very interesting the first time someone actually extends a hand to me, if I actually can respond back in kind, or if I will just make a bald fist and try to do that to them. I'll have to let you know how that goes. We'll find out, I guess, later this summer. So.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of handshaking. I'll have to tell you. I really think there is. So what's going on? I know you had a few things that you mentioned off the top you wanted to talk to me about, but you wouldn't say anything about them. So I know I'm going to be upset, and you're going to surprise me, and it's going to be extremely disappointing for me, possibly entertaining for you. So let's have it.
Well, Paul, I thought we needed some kind of a new segment, a new hook, because I know I've heard from viewers that they love when I sort of spring things on you sort of unexpectedly, before I warn you off camera what's coming. So I'm going to call this will be my segment long contribution to this week's CropLife Retail Week, and maybe going forward, depending on how it goes over and if we could make it work. But I was looking up stories that happened this week, and I noticed one common theme. So we're going to call this segment, Paul, Fun with Numbers.
Awesome.
There's a big graphic on the screen right now with maybe a little, introductory music, with trumpets and such. But so fun with numbers, Paul. I have found 3 news items, and all of them involve a number. So, do you want? And I'll let you start this out. I have 3 numbers. They're all very similar in where they stand in counting between 1 and 100. But do you want to go with the high number, the middle number, or the low number first, and then we'll go from there?
Let's go with the high number first, shall we?
All right, the high number, Paul. The high number for you, and see if you can figure out what this number represents. 38.
38.
Keep thinking of current events. This is a news item we talked about earlier in the week on our website. So
38% planted acres of something.
Actually, no. this one involves a person, Paul. The 38th refers to our friend in the industry, Bayer's Brett Begemann, the COO. On June 8th, Brett will be retiring after 38 years in the business from Bayer. And he will be replaced by Rodrigo Santos, who is the current head of the Latin American operations for Bayer. So I remember Brett from his days back in Monsanto, and then he made the transition over to Bayer. So he's been a longtime friend of us here at CropLife, and we wish him a happy retirement after a 38-year career. That is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was talking to actually a potential PACE Advisory Council member that I can't name yet because it's not official, but he was saying that the discussions about retirements that are happening right now, and so much of it revolves around where we're hitting with carbon. I'm not saying that it is with Brett, but there's really a new era of things that are happening, and it's really going to entail a different way of thinking about how we farm, how we service farms, what kind of products we bring to the farm, how we react to the consumer market. It's daunting, the changes that could be coming afoot. I think a lot of folks are like, this is great, looks like a great, wonderful challenge for the industry, but this is up to the next generation to take it on. And it's just the right time to step away. And that seems to be the case. A couple of other people that I've talked to had a similar reaction in their retirement. It's just the right time to do it with all the things that are changing now. So yeah, I mean, the amount of things that Brett's had to deal with over the past, almost 40 years in the industry, that enough was a major accomplishment to survive and thrive through that whole process. But we're entering a different time now, I think, and so it could take more youthful energy and a different mindset, and maybe this is the ideal time to kind of say, it's time to pass it on.
Yep. So again, our best wishes out to Brett, and I don't know about you yourself, Paul, but I know this year actually celebrating 35 years of being a trade journalist. So the fact that I'm more than 3 years away from retirement, I'm a little jealous of Brett, I have to say.
Yeah, we're inching closer, but not quite there.
Not there yet. Well, you and I both started very young, apparently, so we will say that and let everybody hopefully believe that exaggeration. We won't call it a lie. We'll say an exaggeration. So, all right, Paul. So, what do you want to go with next? The medium number or the small number?
Let's go low.
Go low. Okay, 25.
25. All right. Is this some sort of anniversary or other?
Nope, you're off base on that one too. 25 represents 25 million. Now, that was the judgment in the first case against Roundup filed back in 2019 by Edwin Hardeman in California, where the judgment against the judgment against Bayer at the time was like, I think, 95 million, and that got reduced on appeal. And then, got reduced to 25 million ultimately, and Bayer again appealed, but we found out this week that a U.S. appeals court has upheld the $25 million judgment. So again, this case took place first. It happened all before the settlement agreement was put in place. So it sounds like, based on this, that Bayer may end up having to pay $25 million in the first of the Roundup cases that was brought before the courts back in 2019.
Yeah. Well, it's just the force of momentum in the courts and the public opinion and everything else. No matter, science is just not going to win the day, I don't think, unfortunately. And it's just a good fallout. It'll just continue to come.
Yep. So now we'll go with the medium number, Paul. And this one is 37.
It's not very medium.
Well, it was medium compared to 38 and 25. So
I
had to cut a range here for three variables, all right? So this was the middle one, all right?
That's why you write and don't do numbers.
Yes, thank you. My son would agree with you wholeheartedly, by the way.
37. Oh, man. I don't have a good guess. What is it?
What is it? Okay, well, 37, that actually is going to be the amount of U.S. corn that China is expected to import from our growers here in the United States for the 2021/22 season. As of the middle of May, China has already committed to buy 9.5 million metric tons of U.S. corn for the 2021-2022 growing season. Now that equals 37%, Paul, of the expected U.S. corn exports for that calendar year. So there you go. People have asked. We've talked about it on many videos. China buying up a lot of U.S. corn, and people were asking, are they going to continue to do so? And I guess the answer is absolutely yes.
Yep. Well, for the now, it's great. It'll be interesting to see how this perpetuates, or if it gets cut off, or what happens. I mean, commodity growers sort of needed a break, and it's great that we're making money off of being able to sell it instead of collecting a government check. But still, it gives you a pause to know that China's such a sizable customer and such a changeable customer when it comes to buying things. That makes you a little nervous, cautious, but certainly glad for the revenue we're getting in right now to the farm gate.
Yep. So again, those are my fun with numbers introductory segment for CropLife Retail Week, Paul. So hopefully you have something to add. Maybe has a number involved with it too, perhaps. So.
Yeah. Well, certainly send those cards and letters to Eric Sfiligoj, letting him know how you feel about his number segment. Share that, and I'm sure people might be a little disappointed because you didn't give me anything totally exasperating.
I didn't want to frustrate you totally, and again, all three of these numbers have appeared in stories that have been in the news here this week. So, but as I said, I tried to find something fun that we could go with and give our video guy a chance to make a nice little graphic. So hopefully, he did that.
Very good, sir. All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up, eh?
Yeah, unless you have anything to add, Paul, other than
what like I said, it's been a big week for Tech Hub. That's been something we spent a lot of time on, trying to sew up some of the agenda and get the word out on it. And just putting together the first our group's first in-person meeting since last January, since January 2020. Has been interesting. A lot of I wouldn't necessarily wish it on anyone, but once we get through this, we get to July, I'm really going to be excited about this, because it's If we get the people we're expecting to get, and things are moving in the right direction, certainly right now, it's going to be a really cool event. People are going to be really excited to see each other and engage again in technology. So I'll close with that final plug.
Before you go, though, Paul, one quick question, because I know that, he had said that the early sign-up deadline was on May 19th, which actually, as this video airs, will be just passed. But I remember one of the promo emails I got mentioned Yeti cooler drawing. Do we know when that drawing's taking place?
I don't know.
All right, maybe you could find that out for our next video. So if anybody did sign up and got the early bird rate, and they're because I know here in Ohio where they're giving out $1 million prize to 5 people for getting COVID vaccines, and I heard over the weekend that they had like 100,000 people signing up on the website and crashed it. So I'm sure the Yeti coolers are just as popular with folks as $1 million would be. So I'm asking for our audience, Paul.
I suppose so. So yeah, we'll try and make an announcement and maybe some fanfare next week if that hasn't been announced. But I'm sure that's coming up very soon. We want to get that Yeti cooler to some deserving patron of the conference. But I thought of something else, but it's gone. So let's close. It's late in the day. It's time to close. So thank you for joining us for this edition of CropLife Retail Week. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below.
Your feedback is important to us. We'll try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode.
And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.